Hello, everyone, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to make a presentation about Hausa folklore in relation to Hausa folk tales and proverbs on witchcraft, cultural perceptions, and social reflections. In today's presentation, I will highlight a bit about northern Nigeria and Hausa as a lingua franca, then a bit about witchcraft in Hausa society, and look at the samples of Hausa folk tales and proverbs and sample some meanings of them, and then also look at witchcraft allegations in real life situations and examples of it through videos to be able to give us a view about how oral traditions are reflected in real life situations. So, Hausa as a lingua franca is spoken by over 80 million people as a first language, and by an additional 50 million or above as a second language. It is widely spoken across West Africa and parts of Central Africa, particularly in Nigeria, Niger Republic, Ghana, Cameroon, Chad, Sudan, and Benin. It should be noted that this presentation will focus or be limited to the people of northern Nigeria and the speakers of Hausa as a lingua franca. What I mean here is that although Hausa is used or spoken as a lingua franca across northern Nigeria, the perception of witchcraft deeply permeates the language. This cautionary attitude towards witchcraft is reflected not only in the Hausa language or by Hausa people or speakers, but across the diverse cultures of northern Nigeria and indeed throughout the country as a whole. So, universally, when we talk about witchcraft in Hausa society, I want to take a step back and talk about it first universally. And one can say that witchcraft has been a cause for concern in many societies. For example, in Europe, it has historically been associated with magic, sorcery, heresy, often linked to the persecution of alleged witches, particularly during the witch hunts of the medieval and early modern periods. In Asia, perceptions of witchcraft vary by culture, but frequently involve shamanism, spirit possessions, and folk magic. The practice is often viewed as vindictive or harmful. In Hausa society, which I would argue also cuts across many cultural groups in Nigeria, witchcraft, which is the word means maita in Hausa, is commonly regarded as a supernatural practice used to harm others through mystical powers. It is believed that witches operate in secrecy, using spiritual manipulation to cause illness, misfortune, or death. Traditional beliefs hold that witches can extract a person's soul or vital organs, resulting in one's gradual decline. Communities often rely on rituals, divination, and protective charms to detect and ward off witchcraft. Uh, Witchcraft in Hausa, as shown in the slide, it's maita, and a male witch is mai, and a female witch is maya. So we should understand that before the advent of Islam, witchcraft, whether real or imagined, had a profound impact on society, particularly within the communities it affected. With the spread of Islam and the introduction of formal education, belief in witchcraft has diminished in many areas. Islamic scholars have openly condemned such practices, often citing references from the holy books. And formal education has also contributed to reducing their perceived influence. Nevertheless, witchcraft remains a phenomenon that continues to cause division, as many still believe in its existence as a form of sorcery used to attack or harm individuals. So, when we look at witchcraft in Hausa folktales and proverbs, one can say that Hausa belief in witchcraft is evident in these folklores. And Hausa term for folktales is Tatsunia, and for proverb is Karmagana. So many of the Hausa folktales and proverbs depicts witches as being as evil beings with supernatural powers. Witches are often associated with nighttime activities causing harm to others. Such folk tales and proverbs serve as cautionary lessons. That is when we take these folk tales as stories and these proverbs as daily parts of our conversations. So they serve as cautionary lessons, warning against greed, jealousy, and other vices, depending on the kind of context these proverbs are used or these stories are told. So, proverbs are often used in conversation to support or justify statements during discussions. When it comes to proverbs, the discussion does not necessarily have to involve a witch. Rather, such proverbs can be applied to various situations, which we will see in a sample later. Much like the way the Hausa people commonly use proverbs in everyday conversations. So here's a sample of a story, a folk story, with the title "The Witch and Her Son," and this is just a summary of a longer version, which was in Hausa, and I translated it, and this is a summary. So it goes like this. And the picture it shows the witch, one of it, and her friend discussing, which we would see in the story. So a woman who is secretly a witch gives birth to a son named Malgui after her husband dies. Malgui grows up unaware of his mother's true identity. One day, he overhears her planning, so that's when she was talking to her female friend, to eat him, as she had likely done to his father. Terrified, Malgui escaped from home on his father's horse. His mother, discovering he has fled, transformed into a witch and chases after him. As Malgui rides, he sings to the horse to take him far away. Eventually, he crosses a large river and reaches a forest filled with wild animals. When his mother arrives with the intent to devour him, one of the giant animals swallowed her whole, saving Malgui. The animals advise him to return home now that he is free from the witch. Grateful, Malgui rides back safely. So, for kids hearing this kind of story, even though it talks about witchcraft or stories about depictions of witchcraft, they carry some moral lessons, which include evil, no matter how close or hidden, will eventually be exposed and punished. Or something like even those closest to us can harbor harmful intentions, but truth and justice will prevail. So it also teaches the value of courage, quick thinking, and seeking help when in danger. So another second story is about a man who is rich and has become a witch. And it goes like this. I mean, I love the picture. This is from the book. Um, and it shows a big pot with a leg falling after a bird accidentally drops it. So the story goes like this. There was a very wealthy man whose wives were cooking in the kitchen but forgot to cover the pot of soup on the fire. By chance, a passing bird carrying a piece of human flesh dropped it into the pot. So later, when the wives were serving the food, they noticed a large piece of meat and mistakenly assumed that they had forgotten to cut it into smaller pieces. They decided to serve it to their husband. After eating, the man found the taste irresistible and, in order to recreate it, began to slaughter and eat his animals. Over time, he moved on to eating his slaves and then his children, and even planned to eat his wives. So when the wives fled, leaving only one daughter who was married and lived elsewhere. So when she visited him with gifts, he tried to eat her, she managed to escape with the help of neighbors that warned her that her father had become a witch. So one can say the moral of the story is that it warns against unchecked greed and obsession. It also reflects traditional beliefs linking witchcraft with secrecy, harmful behavior, and serves as a cautionary tale in Hausa oral tradition. So when we look at Hausa Proverbs, which I have a few here, uh, there are several. Yeah, these are just a few. And the first one, it says witchcraft has no boundary. So one can take it in many forms. One should understand that proverbs are so much part of the culture of the Hausa that it doesn't just stick, or it's not, one can use these types of proverbs unrelated to witchcraft. It can be in any situation, and the person decoding the message would understand that in context of the conversation. So it doesn't have to be negative or related to it can be an attack on this listener, but it can be also an attack to others or related to the conversation. For example, the first one, witchcraft has no boundary. One can look at it as evil or harmful actions can affect anyone, regardless of distance or barriers. So it can also imply that some dangers or influences are not confined to a specific place. So it all depends on the kind of discussions that take place for one to use that proverb. Another one is if you see an old woman running, she must have done something wrong. It also gives one an insight into how proverbs or no witchcrafts are often tied to older women and this gender of witchcraft, which is seen. So it can be that be careful when you see somebody acting suspiciously or an older woman. So all these kind of depends on what you can say in a discussion to someone to be cautious. Yeah, to be cautious when he comes across something. And the third one is one does not call someone with a big or sharp eye a witch. Uh, this is a bit ambiguous. It may be that somebody has a big eyes, which for one to connect witchcraft or witches to devouring people, it doesn't have to be direct, but indirectly, it means that they have eyes to see so much deeper into the soul of people and see them having a lot that they can take away from. So it's a bit embedded in meaning, but it also can mean that do not. Uh, it warns against misjudging people simply because of their circumstances or whether they have a sharp eyes or they are perceptive about something. The fourth one is safe travels, the mother of a witch has left town. So this is often said when someone troublesome or somebody with a bad behavior or somebody that is feared leaves. And this implies a relief that this negative aura, this negative influence is gone. So when you say that to someone, then it means that you are happy this whoever is there or whoever has a negative impact has finally left. The fifth proverb is like do your worst, um, or do your worst. A skinny person has insulted a witch. So it also provides a highlight on how people, from the literal meaning, how the Hausa people see that a witch needs someone who has something to give. So what would they do with a skinny person? He has nothing to provide. I mean, it may be the flesh they are looking at, but it can also mean that you don't have anything to offer. So why would a witch bother with you? So if a witch really bothers uh, about you or possess you is because you have something that he has seen that you have to offer, you can offer. The other proverb is the one who has powers to deal, that is the number six. The one who has powers to deal with witches is the one that can shout at them. So the one can say that this is just a literal translation. Those who have power, and we will see it in the next slide. So the one who can look a witch in the eye and attack them or insult them must be so courageous and have powers or protection that is higher and above that of the a witch, which is positive in itself. You have to have a strong mind. You have to be sure of what you are doing before you can attack, because you have this. If you cannot, because they will retaliate and injure you or take somebody away from you. So you have to be courageous. But this proverb can apply to other situations, not just specifically about witchcraft. The number seven is a witch does not like visitors, which means that people with secrets or evil intentions prefer isolation and dislike outsiders who may be curious to discover their wrongdoings. The proverb number eight means a witch does not expose his or her witchcraft in public. So, in this case, it just try to imply that those who engage in deceit or evil attitude rarely reveal their true nature openly. So the ninth proverb is if a witch forgets, the mother does not forget. So this one can be translated as even if the wrongdoer forgets their actions, the victim or others who were affected will always remember. So it's like one can look at it. I may forgive, but I may never forget. So this can be used generally depending on the context of the discussion. So we look at the 10th proverb here. It's Kurwata Kur. It's hard to translate this phrase, but it's like an old woman who looks at a witch and said, uh, I mean, I'm too tough for you to get me. So, I mean, one can look at it as from the perspective where an older person has already done a lot, has reached an older age. What is it that a witch can gain by possessing them? So what's it's trying to say is a witch may go for younger people, and witch will go for middle-aged people. But an old person, what does a witch stand to gain to possess or take away something from them? So these proverbs reflect deep cultural beliefs about witches and witchcraft in Hausa tradition, which often symbolizes deceit, power, secrecy, and justice when we look at the folktales, for example. So when we move away and look at how oral traditions are mirrors to our, our lives in reality, we have some samples here of witchcraft allegations and consequences as a result of these kind of beliefs. So the first case, which all these are samples from online papers, which shows that so many bad things have happened because of witchcraft allegations. So the first one is police arrest two men for starving their brother to death in a state in northern Nigeria called Nasarawa. So in this case, the two suspects that were accused of locking their brother in a room, tying his hand and feet, and denying him food over allegation that he was practicing witchcraft. The second one is 11 people were arrested over alleged killing of a woman accused of witchcraft in an MES palace in Kano. So in this case, the woman was 50 years old, and they were all accused of killing her because of alleged witchcraft involvement. So the third case is four people were accused of burning a man to death over witchcraft allegations in another state in northern Nigeria. So one should note that despite the fact that they are from northern Nigeria, they are not specifically Hausa people, so it's just people who can speak the language and also, which, as I have said earlier in the first few slides, that the Hausa language is lingua franca, and they are not necessarily also Muslims, so it's all a mixture. So we have the fourth case, which a police officer allegedly abused a woman over witchcraft accusations. And this is because he is accusing her of witchcraft for allegedly being responsible for harming his son. So there are two more cases here. So we have the Sharia Court of Appeal in Kano, a town in Kano, that detained a man after he threatened and attempted to attack his wife with a machete. So, which happened last month actually in Kano, northern Nigeria. So the last example here is a young man who shot and killed his mother over allegations of witchcraft in Adamawa, a town in Nigeria. So, unfortunately, according to the legal reports, he believed so much that he didn't even regretted his actions. So, still, regarding witchcraft in northern Nigeria, we have so many samples online of real life experiences. And with social media, we have also people who call themselves healers who use the online media to get more people to see them, to listen to them as they exercise witchcraft after people that come forward with their family members to get healed. So this slide talks about Sarkimayu, which is the witch king. So in order to, before I go into the video, the Sarkimayu, which I translate as the witch king, is a person who is believed to have possessed about 100, some say 99 individuals through witchcraft. When I say possessed, one can see it as possessed, one can see it as claim, one can also say eaten. Whatever it is, the number is up to 99 or 100. So that person, to achieve this status of being the witch king, you have to be notorious and have affected as many as 99 or 100 people. So you are considered worthy of becoming the king who administers medicine and other secrets of witchcraft within the community. So probably at some point they say enough is enough, or they have a rule, and instead they turn around and they become good people that help save others through acts of healing. So, for example, this video is the Serikimari is a person who is of high status in his community or in the field of curing witchcraft, and he is someone who is seen as having skilled in all aspects of witchcraft practices. Unfortunately, or I have to put it in another way, this is a young girl. It occurred in another state, in Nasarawa, in northern Nigeria, where she is brought forward by her family members because she was allegedly accused of possessing or capturing her father. So she was given a perfume or a incense and cover. So this incense, according to the witch king, is powerful to make her confess and to make her unravel the knot she has tied around her father. So as you watch the short clip, which is also available online, you may see her hands moving like this. So this act is showing that she is complying and doing as the witch king tells her and unraveling the knot that she has tied around her father that makes him sick.
Haki galakita su suke gaya mata ta mutu tsoron su ba za ta ci ganiyanta ƙungiyar da sun yi runduna sun zo kunce suna ce mata kake da ta kunce kunce shi kunce in ba ta kaga kunce na ka ce ba kawai kunce.
So in this case, what the Witch King is saying is that she should remove the knot that she tied and made her father very sick. And among the words he was saying is that, wait, she has to remove it because the group, so there are, in this case, we get an insight that there are many groups. It's like a cult. So they are telling her not to untie her father. That is what he is saying. These are his claims. So he wants her to do it, and he says her crying is just a protest because she has orders somewhere within her head. Her She has a contact with her cult members, and they are telling her what to do, and that is not to untie her father. So we have also the Carbal Queen here. This young woman is also very popular, and she gives herbs not only about witchcraft but about many other things. And in this video, she's talking specifically about witchcraft. And there's a picture behind this video which you can see. She's sitting there in blue, and it means that other people have brought in someone requesting healing. So it's not clear because it doesn't play, but the one in pink, it shows exactly, there's a video about it which shows exactly what she is saying as in the clip. So what she said is, I know that people who are watching this may not believe what I am saying, but I want to emphasize that if you do not have a specific knowledge about something, then you have no grounds to refute it. So on the picture, there are four emojis, and next to it are words which I translate. It's in Hausa, these words, and I translate it as such. Somebody is saying, is it really true? So he's trying to say, is it really true what she is saying or doing? So what she said next was, a witch can take the form of a mosquito, snake, dog, cat, owl, or even a spirit. It can even reside within a pregnant person and cause many illnesses in an individual. So she sees a witch to be associated with evil and conflict in a way that they can spend days, weeks, years denying being witch until they are forced to accept to bring it out through uh, through herbal interactions when they come to them, for example. So another case is here. Also, another case here is removing witchcraft at the palace. So in this case, an older man is alleged to be a witch, and it is claimed that he has possessed the girl lying there. So in this case, she is unconscious. And one of the traditions that I have seen, which is just not, it's not only in this video, I've seen similar clips before. When a witch is caught and it's alleged that he has claimed or possessed an individual who happens to be unconscious, part of the ritual is that the witch has to cross over the unconscious person 3 times without touching the person. Well, if after that the person wakes up, therefore that person will be healed. So probably not in this video. The whole thing started outside, where it was insisted that the witch, who happens to be a male, must cross over this young girl, and he refuses. So the matter was brought to the palace of the emir, and the emir ordered him to do so. So because he was not willing, others have to hold him to cross over. So this is just a shortened clip. And when he resisted, they brought the case here, and the king ordered that he cross over. So unfortunately, the whole clip didn't show her fully getting up, but she has made movements before the clip original clip cuts. So I will just play a shorter version that I have here. So you can see that there was a movement from the young girl, which shows that it has worked. And a longer version is he has crossed over more than one time, maybe up to 3 times. So this is just a short version. And it's hard to get exactly what the old man, who is alleged to be the witch, was saying in the clip. But from the way he happens to be swearing, one can deduce that he is denying having possessed her. But the fact that she got up after the 3 attempts will prove to the people that he was actually the one who possessed her. And yeah, so overall, one can say that folk tales and proverbs about witchcraft reflect the oral traditions of a given language. So in Hausa culture, these stories and sayings highlight words and situations that have long been part of the oral heritage. The cautionary perspective on witchcraft is evident in real life situations where it is viewed as a manifestation of evil intentions. This belief often leads to drastic measures being taken, as there's no formal or legal framework or clear stance in Nigeria to address such practices. Thank you. Now, Godi.